you can go ahead. I don't have a problem. You cannot sell fear to us. You know, even if you sold us fear, we cannot buy. You know, and therefore, as I'm out of the country, unless I'm stopped from going, and if I'm stopped from going, I'm still okay. I'll be here because this is my country. We have made sufficient arrangements with other leaders in the united opposition to create a pool of lawyers to come
Now,
in
ladies and
to.
gentlemen, today the former Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, spoke. He addressed matters arising on the Sabasaba Day demonstrations that wreaked havoc in the Republic of Kenya. And on the said statement issued by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, he pointed fingers at President William Ruto, together with his allies, claiming that they are on the verge of trying to turn everybody against the Kikuyu community. And remember the sentiments of Rigathi Gachagua, where he said that William Ruto, in the, two, before we reach the 2007-2008 post-election violence, William Ruto, as a member of parliament then, and under the ODM party, had turned the whole narrative, and they campaigned on a campaign of trying to turn the nation against the Kikuyu community. The 41 versus 1. That was the narrative that William Ruto is said to have played. And Gachagua said that William Ruto is on the same verge right now, trying to divide the country on tribal lines so that everybody can turn against the Kikuyu community. And that is why on the Sabasaba Day demos, most of the businesses and towns that goons wreaked havoc and caused fear were towns where Kikuyus are mostly operated and located. But that has also prompted one majority leader, Kimani Ichugwah, and a close ally to President William Ruto to speak about it. Now, he has issued a press statement a few minutes ago, and I want to read this press statement before we get to analyzing the whole story. Kimani Ichugwah says, Honorable Kimani Ichugwah, EGH, member for Kikuyu constituency and leader of majority party, statement on Gachagua's politics of hate, lies, and destruction. He says, my attention has been drawn to some ridiculous claims by Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, whom for the longest time I have resisted responding to his barrage of ridiculous and senseless accusations out of respect, perhaps even pity for a man still licking the wounds of impeachment. But the line has been crossed. There comes a time when silence is no longer virtue, when the cost of staying quiet is the truth itself. That time is now. Gachagua has grown so drunk on his lies that he now believes them to be gospel truth, and worse, demands that we all follow him down that dark, destructive rabbit hole. Mr. Rigathi Gachagua's deep-seated bitterness, his violent, obsessive hatred towards President William Ruto and myself have gone beyond personal grudges. They have become dangerous and now risk the very existence of our nation. Not to mention our democracy. The only person responsible for Gachagua's political failure is Gachagua himself. His downfall was not engineered by anybody other than himself. It was brewed in his sport by his politics of lies, intimidation, and calculated chaos. His anger is no longer his alone to carry. It now threatens to poison the very soul of our nation. Gashagua's allies, whom he has sponsored and shielded, are not victims. They are perpetrators charged in courts of law with clear, damning evidence. Let it be known, in a democracy, justice is not found at press conferences or on social media. It is found in the courtroom. If he has faith in their innocence, let him prove it where it matters. In court, not by dragging the name of President Ruto or myself into the mud, not by name dropping to buy sympathy, and certainly not by playing the certain victim. His latest desperate act of accusing us of orchestrating the arrest of his criminal allies is as absurd as it is shameless. If he has an ounce of evidence to prove otherwise, Let him take it to the ICC, the UN, or whatever rooftop he prefers. But don't mistake accountability for prosecution. And he continues by saying, and let's talk facts. On June 25th, 2025, a well-documented coordinated attempt to destabilize our democracy was launched. In Kikuyu, lives were lost. Properties destroyed, my own home and that of my elderly parents were targeted. The courts in Kikuyu were torched, and who are the names linked to these events? Gachagua's allies, now arrested with undeniable evidence tying them to the carnage of destruction. The latest arrest of Getonga Mukunji, the MP for Manyata, caught on camera mobilizing goons to invade and loot Spar Mall on Thika Road, is not a coincidence. It's a pattern of recklessness, of entitlement, of blood-soaking ambition. The honorable thing for Gachagua to do is to refute the overwhelming evidence against his allies, not to be belated, throw around names. Name dropping the name of the president, Ruto, Kimani Ichugwah, or any other leader will not rescue Gachagua allies and co-conspirators in the crime against Kenya, specifically the people of Kikuyu on the 25th of June, nor will it rescue Gachagua himself from the closing nose that is closing in on him. There is no confidence that Gachagua is now running helter-skelter with a man of lies and counter accusations to defend those of his allies got redacted. The arrest of his allies in Limuru and elsewhere accused of touching the Kikuyu law courts and other public buildings in Kikuyu and Dagoretti, and the attempt to touch my house and that of my parents, thanks to my neighbors and patriotic officers who repulsed them, is what has now tickled off paranoid Gachagua. We will not sit back and watch as criminal pose as martyrs. We will not watch as men with no respect for law and order to seek to ignite a nation into anarchy in pursuit of personal vendettas. Gashagua's allegations today are just a reminder of recent claims of what can only be described as a sickening stage play. When Gachagua claimed and wanted Kenyans to believe that one George Koimburi, a member of parliament, was abducted and poisoned with some poisonous gases, as he claimed, they only for the fact, then only for the facts to later expose the lie. It's not politics anymore. It is pure madness. Here is the truth. Gachagua is in a panic. He smells the walls closing in. He knows what he did. The desperation, the lies, the wild accusations are all the cry of a man who knows justice is coming. He is not just wetting his pants in fear. He is drowning in his own deceit, the truthful liar indeed. Let us remind Gachagua it was not President William Ruto nor Kimani Ichugwah who got him impeached. He got himself impeached through lies. His insatiable greed, violence, and pure political thuggery indeed. Parliament acted to protect the country, and today Kenya sees why. Let it be made abundantly clear that Gachagua's repeated lies and propaganda will not rescue his collapsing political career. His culture of deception, incitement, and decisive politics is what is most responsible for his downfall. That is Kimani Ichugwah's statement. And he finishes the statement by saying, Mr. Gachagua is not a victim. The looting of businesses, destruction of public properties, and loss of innocent lives, including children caught in the crossfire, are a direct result of meticulous planned acts of political violence driven by an evil scheme to drive our nation to anarchy. Never before in the political history of Kenya have we seen a leader who maims his own people to gain politically. Our history is rich with leaders who fought for the people, not those who used the people as shield and pawns. Instead of standing for the people, he is sacrificing them at the heart of selfish personal ambition. Let it also be known to Mr. Gachagua that if he has even an iota of evidence to back his vivid allegations, he is free, just like every other Kenyan, to submit it to investigative agencies. But We will not allow him to weaponize lies to cleanse himself while dragging others into his abyss. This is a man who, for the first time in the nation's history, is deliberately sowing violence, hatred, and destruction, targeting the very people who once supported him simply to breathe life into a dead political career. The blood, the tears, and the pain of innocent Kenyans will not be forgotten, and the responsibility lies squarely on his shoulders, even as he blatantly attempts to cleanse his sponsored allies. Let him prepare their defense for the courts, not for cameras. Now, that is the statement issued by Kimani Ichugwah, stating that all that Gachagua has been doing, he has been playing a card to try and cleanse himself because his political career is dying. Now, when we look at this statement, it tells you that the finger pointing between Rigathi Gachagua and Kimani Ichugwah and President William Ruto will always remain paramount at the end of the day. We also today, President William Ruto also loses cool and even ordered the police now to shoot people who try to loot businesses on their legs so that they can go get treated and then taken to a court of law so that they can answer to their crimes. And apart from that, he also revealed that people are singing Ruto must go, yet they didn't do that to former President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, nor did they do it to Mwai Kibaki. Reason being, Kibaki and Uhuru are Kikuyus. Now, Gachagua replying to Ruto on this matter, he said, remember the problems that Uhuru Kenyatta and Kibaki faced during their tenures, the presidents of this nation, were all orchestrated by William Ruto then. I would love to know what is your take in regards to this matter. Leave a comment on the comment section. See you in our next video. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the Kenyan Daily Report.